Hello and welcome back to the Basic Bee Podcast. I'm your host and favorite SEO coach, Brittany Herzberg. And we are back with another case study because I cannot help myself. I love talking to these people and getting to see where they're at and how things have changed since they've been doing SEO. So I have yet another SEO and Grow grad. We have Heidi Thompson with us today. Say hi, Heidi.
Hey.
I'm really thrilled to have you here and just so grateful that you're like, yeah, sure, I'll come on the show.
Yeah, of course. You asked me and I was like, yeah, obviously. Anytime I get to hang out with you, I'm happy to do that.
Ditto. All right. Tell the people of the world what you do and how you help people in the world. What's going on in your corner?
Yeah. So I work with wedding professionals of all different kinds. So planners, photographers, DJs, stationery designers, you name it. And I help teach them how to market in a way that actually works for them and isn't, completely overwhelming. So I'm really all about helping them actually get more of like the clients they love to work with without having a business that requires like 60, 80 hours a week.
Exactly. We love that. And it kind of sounds familiar. So how in the world did SEO jump on your radar and what made SEO and Grow stand out to you?
So it's one of those things that, is always like, you should do this. You should do this. You should really work on this. This should be something that you're doing. And then I don't even remember how I initially came across you. I think it might have been from your podcast, possibly, like quite a while ago. But you always stood out to me, and SEO and Grow really stood out to me because you explain SEO in a very down-to-earth, this is not this whole confusing technical world sort of way that makes it very practical and very doable. So I knew that with SEO and Grow, it was going to be very step-by-step. It wasn't like I was going to be just like thrown in and, left to figure it out, because there's a lot of things with SEO where it's like, okay, we have to find keywords, and that opens up like a million more questions.
Mm-hmm.
So I just knew from the way that you teach and the way that you structure things that it was going to be a very guided experience where I could get the help that I needed, but then still be like, okay, I have what I need. I can go do my thing.
Yeah, I love hearing that because I really do try to get that across in like the free ways that I can. And then once you're in the program. So let me ask you this, because so many people, and actually a couple of people that are in my world right now, have signed up for coaching programs or signed up for things. And then they get in there and they like either don't see the person or the thing that was promised is like nowhere to be found. It's not even like hiding in a corner. It's just like not there at all. So how was that from like what you saw, sales page, conversations with me, things I might have said, into the actual experience? Did it feel like the things that were said were there?
It was more, actually. I really love the fact that, you put something together and by the time you're done with it, it's like, I don't even know if this like matches what I was trying to do, if I accomplished what I wanted to do. And you open yourself up so much to be like, let me look at it, let me audit it, let me review it, and give you suggestions. And I think that is something that is so essential, especially with this kind of work, because, you go into it and you're like, okay, I'm going to do it in this particular way. I'm going to follow these instructions. But then you go down so many tangents and so many rabbit holes about what you could do that by the end, it's like, did I do it? Did I accomplish what I was trying to do?
Yeah. Oh gosh, that's so true. And especially when you're going down the rabbit hole, it's like, well, this person says this and chat says that and Claude says this and this other person says that. And it's like, rein it in, come back. We had these steps. It can be very intriguing, enticing to be like, but this thing over here, this like shiny object, I want to go like touch it and play with it.
Yeah, and you are very good at like yanking people back out of like the rabbit holes of like, but this. I was like, no. Come back to me. This is what we're going to focus on right now.
Listen to the sound of my voice. That's true. Every single group. And I'm one of those people too, where I'm like, but I saw this thing. Mm-hmm. And I think that's maybe why I do tug people back, because I'm like, I know where you're going. We don't need to go there. That's not going to get you where you actually want to go. And like as humans, just as an aside, we always want to throw obstacles in our way for whatever reason, whatever mindset trash we have going on, limiting beliefs, whatever you name it. But it's not going to serve you. And you came in my program for a reason. So I'm going to be like, no, this is not going to get you to that destination. We're getting back on this path. Here you go.
And I love people like that. Like, I don't need people that are like, let me support you on your tirade going off on something completely different. Like, no.
That was not the plan. Oh my gosh, that is really funny. What were your expectations of just like going in and doing anything with SEO, whether it was with me or with someone else? Like, what did you have in your head that would look like?
So I came into it with like definitely some familiarity
Mhm.
of, okay, I know I need to do like this keyword research. I know I need to fit these pieces in, and like everything that I create needs to have these different things plugged in. But the exact how-to of that felt very squishy and amorphous and like, well, in this situation, this, in this situation, that. And it was like, I really just need a framework that I can follow. And that's really what I was looking for. And I know you're very like, no, we can go off in that world later, but this is the direction. This is what we need to do. Step 1, step 2, step 3. And it really helps from getting sucked into those different areas. So
Mhm.
I really like that we initially work on, like the core pages, because
Mhm.
obviously that's super important. But then get into the other pieces of content, whether that's, blog posts or case studies that are also blog posts or podcasts, because podcast SEO was something that I never really dug too much into. I don't know
Mhm.
why. I feel like there aren't that many people talking about it,
Yeah.
but it is a huge opportunity.
Yeah, it really is. We should totally go with this because you're one person that I've had on the podcast who has a podcast and has blogs. I would say you're really on it with your marketing. I mean, as of course one would expect because you're talking about marketing. So speak to that a little bit because you do have the podcast, you do have the blogs. I know you have case studies now. How was that? Because I think you've done a lot of implementing of that stuff, like tail end of the program, and then even since you've been out of the program, right?
Yeah. So I've created a couple different case studies that have been incredibly helpful, both from an SEO perspective. It's very helpful in my case because I work with a group of people who probably aren't searching for that group name.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a photographer, you're probably not searching for marketing for wedding professionals. You might be, but you're also searching for like that subgroup for
Mm-hmm.
photographers, for wedding photographers. So I have all of these subgroups, and it's like, this is a lot of, individual groups of people to manage. And the case studies are really helpful for that because then I can drill down into what this one wedding planner did for her marketing and really get into telling the story for that. So that's been really good for getting really specific for keywords. Also for podcasts, because with it, I always start off with the podcast. And I have had, previous clients on my podcast. And so I start there and start pulling it apart because I have the meat of this person's journey. And so I can pull from that and it makes it so much better than just, like, here's a podcast with this person. So I can actually like lay out, this is where they were, this is what they did, these are the steps, this is, what their result looked like. And then it has been really helpful to just in my marketing to be able to point to them.
Mm-hmm.
When I have someone that either fits that person's situation or fits that kind of business that they're running or the kind of struggle they're running up against, I can say, well, here's how we would handle that situation. And here's exactly how we did it with this particular person. And it is such a strong piece of social proof because it isn't just the testimonial, it shows the full journey that someone had. So it hits the mark in multiple different ways, from the SEO side, from podcast content, from like a nice long form piece on the website to then just being able to be something that you can reference. And
Yeah.
I feel like not enough people are doing them.
They're not. And they weren't even back when I was talking about them and talking about case studies with SEO. People were like, huh, what? Why would you do that? And I'm like, why would you not? It's right here. you have the SEO title and meta description, you have these keywords. People are looking for stories, for examples, for things that they can relate to. And especially with, I think, with like you've got the membership, I've got programs, we've got like one-to-one offers, whatever it is that you have, when it's not a physical product where you can go, yep, the water bottle works. It's like, what's the program like? What's the host like? What's the experience like? Did you actually have any positive results? Like, are you in a different spot now that's a positive spot? So you want to do the whole like try before you buy. And with a service, I feel like case studies are the ultimate way to do that. And I love that you're seeing the whole thing through, unlike one of us, and doing the podcast and the full blog post. I love that.
It's so much easier when you have the podcast too. So for anyone that's thinking about doing this sort of thing, if you have a podcast, even if you don't, just record the conversation.
Yeah.
And then it gives you the meat, like it gives you the framework to kind of fill in. And I've been able to, kind of train Claude on like, okay, here's the structure I want to follow, like pull out the pieces and then just we start kind of rewriting and massaging different pieces, but it's not starting from scratch. And I feel like that's the scariest part to start from.
Oh my gosh, it really is. And that's a great point. I'm always telling people just record the conversation. It never has to see the light of day, but you're ultimately looking for the case study, the before, the during, the after. It's like, that's it. Like it can be that simple, and then find some keywords to help it make it even more discoverable.
Yeah, it's so powerful. And, it makes for great podcast content too. So if you do have a podcast, definitely be doing them.
Do it. And I would say, I think Leah, my podcast producer, usually says at least once a quarter. But if you have more people than that, you could even do it like once a month.
Yeah.
The possibilities are endless over here.
Yeah.
So we kind of talked about the experience. We talked about the before, but I didn't really tee up like, what other things do you have going on in your life? Like, yes, there's you, the human, and you have this business, but do you have any other like factors or considerations in your life?
Good question. So I have a very strong priority of not working all the time.
Imagine that.
So I know there's a lot of people with like, oh, I have kids and I have like these health concerns. I'm like, yes, I'm going to do that style, but I don't have that particular struggle. I don't want to work a lot. Like I want to do what I want to do and then I want to be out and enjoying my life. So doing things in my business that I know are going to continue to do work for me always take priority, whether that's SEO or something that, SEO is one of those things that it's just a workhorse. It just continues to work and it's crazy. Like I see so many of my own clients put so much time and effort and energy into things like Instagram. And it's like, great if it works for you, but at the same time, that's going to be dead in a week. If that, that's probably not going to generate anything for you. So because like I'm very much like a life first kind of person when it comes to business, I really prioritize things that are like, okay, once I get this ball rolling, it's just going to keep rolling. And then I can start another one and roll it down the hill and like, just keep it moving as opposed to, I feel like a lot of times, a lot of the things we do, I think social media is a great example of this, is like, you're just starting from scratch over and over and over again. And it's like, it's exhausting.
Yeah, it really is. And I think so many people see the work that they have to put into social media for that marketing style, marketing strategy. And then they're like, I'm going to double my workload because I'm going to add SEO in. And it's like, no. This is actually going to lighten things because you have content working for you for months and years to come, as opposed to like 48 hours and it's dead.
Yeah. And like I have stuff that has been getting found for years, continues to get found. And then I think if you're going to do a lot of work on social, start with the SEO stuff because that's working in the background. And then you can just take it and turn it into social media posts.
Yeah. And that's even stuff that that we talk about in the group program too, is even just like optimizing your profile. And people are like, what? I don't just put like random words here. I don't just put like my name. I can do more. Yeah, you can do more. So it's like all these opportunities that are like right in front of our faces. We just may or may not know what they are. If we do know what they are and we haven't acted on them, it's generally because you don't know what to put there and you don't see how the big whole thing comes together. So that's one thing that I think since you were in the program, I ended up making it 4 months long because 3 months felt okay, but 4 months was even better because we were able to like just stretch it a little bit more. So it's like knock out the website, get into content, get into anything profiles or whatever that's off your website. And it's all going to work together, especially with AI searches, because I'm finding that AI is like, okay, Heidi's over here, Angie's over here, Angie's over here. Okay, Brittany's over here and here and here. And it's able to just put together this like really good understanding of you, your business, where you are, what you do, who you help, how you help them, and then serve you in the right search results for the right people.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people get excited about AI and don't realize that it's going off of SEO. So that part is super important.
Thank you, Heidi. Gosh, if you didn't hear me say it, Heidi said it, okay?
Yeah, like those foundations are crucial. And I feel like the way you teach SEO is like layers, like, okay, we have to get the base, get
Mhm.
it down, and then we can add this, then we can add this, then we can add this. And it just makes it so much more doable because it's like, okay, I know, let's say I have like a ton on my plate right now, but I know at some point I want to create a blog post around this topic. And I know I'm going to focus on this sort of transformation for this person or these particular keywords. The goal is to get it found in these particular searches. It is fine if it doesn't get done right now. And I think going into it, like I definitely had that anxiety of like, I feel like I need to do everything now. But I feel like as long as I'm approaching it with the right mindset going forward, it's like, okay, this stuff's just working. Like I
Mhm.
have this going. When I can add another layer, cool. But whether that's this month or next month or the month after, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't actually matter. So it like takes some of the pressure off.
Yeah, that is so true for so many of us. And I've I've found myself recently attracting a lot of people who relate to me also as a perfectionist or a procrastinator or whatever, because it's like I can fill my plate and it's fine. It'll all get done. No, it's not all going to get done right now. And it's okay because it's something that you can chip away at, which some people hate hearing that about SEO. But even as you're talking, it's almost like a very good marketing strategy for anyone who does have those like anxious tendencies, which I definitely do. Where it's like, I have to get all this done like right now. It's like, no, do this, then do this. And that is definitely my hope with the program is that I'm like, here's step one, here's step two, and like see it all the way through. And then you can get to the point where you're doing content and profiles and whatever that other stuff is. And you can take advantage of that on a monthly basis. That part doesn't have to be in any set order, but getting your website set up like does need to be in a certain order.
Yeah. And it makes it very easy to take action on because it helps you zoom in on like, okay, what is actually going to make an impact? And like,
Hmm.
yeah, then I can do things like optimize these images I haven't gotten to yet, which, by the way, is something I taught my VA how to do from
Yay!
learning from you. And it was like, go find everything we haven't done and we can start knocking this out.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. I love hearing that. That's another good point. It is something that you can bring a team member on, and you could even bring Claude or whatever on board and be like, this is what needs to happen. This keyword, this thing, this order, this many characters. Like you, at that point, you know what needs to be done, and it's you delegating with specific instructions.
Yeah. Yeah. And it really just has given every piece of content I'm creating more direction, more purpose, more function. So I'm getting more out of it than just like, okay, I'm going to create something on this and like treating
Yeah.
it as disposable like we do so often on social.
So, so true. All right. So with this part of like actually being in the program, learning things, doing things, do you have any guess for like on average each week how much time you were putting into the SEO stuff? And it could be a rough guess.
Yeah, I was setting aside, I asked Brittany, but immediately when I signed up, I was like, it has to be a block on my calendar or it's not going to happen. I need to do it right now. Tell me how much time to put on. And I think I set aside maybe like 2 hours a week, whether I
Okay.
used the full 2 hours, depending what I was working on. And I still have it. It's just like that block, it's SEO work. And I can go and just see like, okay, what's going on right now? What's one thing I can do?
Hmm.
And then I do that one thing and then I move on.
And that's got to feel some type of way. So, like, how does that feel being able to do that?
Really good. It feels like a much easier lift.
Hmm.
It's one of those things. It's like, building a muscle. Like you don't see results overnight, but as you do the reps, it's like, oh, this is getting easier. Oh, I'm starting to see the results of this. And it's very encouraging. And it feels like, okay, this is something I can do that is going to impact the long-term health of my business in a pretty short amount of time that I'm dedicating to it.
Yeah, I love hearing that. All right, so we've been out of the program for like 3-4 months, I think.
Something like that. Yeah.
How is your SEO life now?
So I totally backburnered some things because I was like, okay,
Uh-huh.
I had a summit. There were some other things I had going on where it was just like, I can put a pin in this, but I felt good about putting a pin in it. I didn't feel like I'm falling behind because that's the worst feeling,
Yeah.
It wasn't like I'm slipping, I'm losing what I've been working on. Like all of this stuff is just building in the background. So that was really nice to know that I can put a pin in this and it's not going to fall apart while I do that. It's just going to continue to hold or continue to build. And I've gone in and, continued to create blog posts and content on different topics that I know is going to get me found. I was looking at my search console, and since we started, just like across the board, my average position of where I'm being found has jumped significantly, like across all keywords. I'm talking
Wow.
beforehand, my average position was like 30-ish, and now it's like 8.
Oh my gosh. Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put that in context for anyone who's like, what does that even mean practically? There's about 10 results on a Google search results page. So if she was showing up in the 30s, that was page 3. And then being in position 8, you're on page 1, which is amazing.
Yeah, and that's an average position. So that's
Right.
across a large swath of keywords.
Yeah, because you have a ton of keywords. I mean, you
Yeah.
help all sorts of wedding professionals do all sorts of marketing. You cover quite a range.
Yeah. So that has been really cool to see. And,
Yay.
with the dashboard we set up, and I have been less active in that area for sure.
Mhm.
I need to get back into it. But it's really nice to be able to see, like, okay, this is the change. This is what's happening. Because before I knew how to measure that, it was just like, I don't know. Hope that works.
There's a number there.
Yeah. I guess that's good.
Yeah. At least there's something. That's true, though. I mean, so now you're able to go in and see the numbers and actually make sense of them. And then have you even gone so far as to like not just make sense of them, but like make some marketing moves based on what you're seeing?
Yeah, there have been things that I've seen, changes in like, oh, weird, this page is doing better or this page is doing worse. Maybe based on that, these are different topics that I need to focus on more or less, like given just what's happening in the market, what people are searching for. It's really nice to be able to make decisions off of an observation of something that's happening than like, I got to come up with something off the top of my head to talk about.
So true. So, okay, you're seeing stuff happening in Google Search Console and Google Analytics. Have you seen anything by way of like inquiries or people signing up for the membership or asking you more specific questions or anything like that?
So I am terrible at measuring this. I like cards on the table, so bad at measuring like the path because it's so messy, I think, especially in my kind of business, because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times it's like people will find me and then they'll join me for a webinar or they'll join me for a summit and then they'll join the membership. And then it's like, what is the attribution? Because all of it played a role. So
Right.
I think it's messy for everybody, but I
Mm-hmm.
think especially when you're not working specifically one-on-one
Mm-hmm.
with someone and it's like a one-to-many kind of thing, like a webinar, it's messy. But I have definitely found, more people have been finding me through my organic content for sure. So I have a webinar that works very well for me, and I've created content that is adjacent to that. I've optimized the webinar page, which is not something I did. Like usually when I put funnels together, for a training or something, I'm like, placeholder title, not going to do any of this. So, like, it's something I host on a regular basis. Duh, Heidi, it makes sense that you want to optimize that.
Hey, but we learned.
Yeah, yeah. So there are definitely more people finding that. And that is a very big point of entry for people to then come into my membership. So
That is so exciting. I love
yeah.
that. What about any of the other places, like any directories that you might be listed on or social media or anything like that? Are you having people find you there yet?
It's hard to tell if it's like from the changes, but I've definitely had more DM conversations where clearly the way I'm describing myself in my Instagram bio is clicking more with people, because I will have people message me and like reference that. Like, oh,
Oh,
you
cool.
do this. Like, tell me about this, or can you help me with this particular thing? So it's so hard to describe what you do when you're in it every day. And
Hmm.
going through SEO and grow, I know you always take people back to your 3 questions, and it's like, what do I do? What do I do every day? And how do I explain it? But like being held to that, it has been really helpful.
You don't love it when you're in it, but it
No.
really does help.
Like, I don't know.
I think it was Cecily in her case study interview. She's like, oh, God, fine. I'm not going to get around this. I have to answer the questions. It's like, yep. And I'm still like, I don't know, a year later, still being like, okay, those 3 questions. And she'll come to me with something. And I'm like, your answer over here, has this changed? No. Okay. I know it is so hard to answer those, but it does really help long term. Like, is this kind of content the kind of content that my ideal person is going to be looking for? Is it really going to fill the thing that I want to be filling? Like any of that stuff. It all just like points back to that. So as much as you hate me, I'm going to be making you fill that out.
Yeah, and like getting to observe you doing stuff like with people, for people, working through someone's page, and you're like, okay, let me play with this. Let me look at this. And just seeing the way you do it really unlocked some things for me, because I had it, and I don't know if this is just old school SEO or what, but I had it in my mind that like the whole phrase, the whole keyword, like has to be that and has to be in that order and cannot come apart in any sort of way. And that was like really messing me up with,
Yeah.
I can't turn this into something that sounds normal for a
Hmm.
title. And just seeing how you work with it and you kind of allow yourself to play with it, it's like, oh, okay, this actually still works, and you can take it apart and play with it in different ways. So it isn't as restrictive as like, I have to fit wedding planner marketing. I have to fit this in, and I can't figure out how to do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, huge props to you because the questions that you would ask, and even the fact that I feel like you, more than any other person, just like pushed me to like do the messy thing on camera, Brittany, like share it, just like talk us through, like I can see what you're doing. So like I'm really grateful because even with these like next rounds of the program, I've been able to do that. And I'm always like, Heidi was interested in this, so I'm going to do it this way.
It is just like, show me how you would do this, because then you do things and it's like, wait. Why? Why did you just do that? And then I can
Yeah.
change something about how I'm doing it. It felt so restrictive and difficult before because I was trying to fit things into like a phrase that's like, well, there's no keyword volume for that. And like,
Hmm.
yeah, because I'm trying to get like this 5-word phrase. Why isn't this exact 5-word phrase ranking for anything? And it's like, no, it can be pieces that you put together, and Google's smart enough to figure it out.
Yeah, that is one of my favorite things to tell people. And I'm always like, am I doing it wrong? But then I see things working. I'm like, nope, I'm going with that because it is really restrictive. And it is like not how you would say things or not how someone else would say a phrase or how a client would phrase something to you. So it's like, okay, just be a normal human, write
Yeah.
it how you would say it, and then just check to make sure that those words are in there. And like 9 times out of 10, you're usually good.
Yeah. And a lot of times it's like a small change. Like if
Yeah.
I'm talking about my audience, like sometimes there's a surprising difference between wedding pro, wedding professional, wedding vendor, wedding business. And it's like, oh, okay, those are very interchangeable. I can just go with whatever one has the highest volume.
Yeah, exactly. Any other just like internal emotional, like how you felt versus how you're feeling now?
Going in, I was like, this is going to be a big climb. This is going to be like this whole big project. And now I feel like it's this very just integrated part of my business where I can go in and like a couple of tweaks, get out and know that I did something that is useful that's going to make an impact. So it's like, how do I build an entire car versus how do I like go quickly do a little tune up and deal with a very specific problem or just improve performance just a tiny little bit. Having the confidence to do that and to know like it can be a small thing. It can be a tweak, and tweaks make bigger differences than you would think is huge.
I love that so very much. What are you excited about next? I know that you said some things are on the back burner. So like, what do you feel like you're excited about next? Any kind of projects that you have that you might be working on that were inspired by SEO or might include SEO, anything like that?
Yeah. So I actually noticed through SEO and Grow that I don't have a ton of great like thought leader content on one particular framework that I use that I've written a book on, and I'm relaunching my book. So it's like all of it's coming together to be like, okay, this is a really good opportunity to create more thought leader content on this specific topic that it's like, I feel like I've talked about it and I have, but it's not all in one easy to digest place. So that's definitely my next SEO move is really trying to optimize for some of those keywords around that particular framework around my book. So yeah, I'm really excited about that because when I initially wrote the book, I wrote it in 2017. I've updated it and I'm re-releasing it. But it is just like a way to give like all of this new fresh life and fresh air to something that I feel like I've done. But then when I actually started digging in, when I was looking into like internal linking and I was like, oh yeah, I should probably link to this. And I'm like, do I really not have like a good meaty piece on this that I've set, the intention to be like, this is the thing that's going to rank for this? And no, apparently not. So I found myself a good opportunity.
Exactly. And like aside but related, the book, definitely optimize the book page. And then you can even do like Amazon keywords and categories. And if you are a self-published author, for you and anybody else listening, that is something that you have access to and you have the capability, the control over to go in and tweak and change those things. And I happen to know that because I happen to share an apartment with someone who does that, especially for nonfiction authors. So like there are a lot of opportunities for SEO that we just may or may not know about, like I said earlier. And even books could be a thing as well.
Yeah, and that's making me think, like on those pages, did I do meta descriptions? I need to go look.
You can do it now. I've definitely done that with clients, especially like done for you clients before where I'm like, you have a book? Okay, we have to do this for your book. Again, it's just an opportunity that's there. And why not take advantage of it and just see if anything happens? The worst that could happen is you make changes and it doesn't positively impact it. It won't negatively impact it, but It could positively. Like the hope is there. The possibility is there. I did not ask you specifically about your podcast, but have you implemented stuff on your podcast as far as SEO goes? And have you seen any shifts there?
Yeah. So I need to look to see if there were any shifts.
That's your homework.
That happened in like listenership. But I started implementing tags, which I had not used because everyone said they weren't a thing that mattered. And apparently they do. I've definitely improved my overall show note structure. So going into any podcast now, the title is stronger. The description in the show notes is significantly stronger. And the places where I'm taking people, because before I would just like take them to the show notes page on the website. Like, no. We're including like more links, more things in the show notes. So it is significantly stronger than it was before. And sometimes I listen to podcasts and I swipe over to the show notes and it's just like one line. I'm like, you're not doing it right.
You're messing this up. Also, where do I get that thing you talked about?
Exactly. Yeah. Like I want it. Let me on your email list. Let me buy this thing from you.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Well, this has been really exciting. Is there anything else that you want to share or say or anything that we might have missed?
If you're thinking about joining SEO and Grow and you're not sure because you're like, I'm uncomfortable with this, or this is a whole thing, or this is a whole new world for me, or I feel like this won't work for my particular business, Brittany will prove you wrong in the best way possible. And she'll make it easy and doable, which, like, what more can you ask for?
Aw, thank you. I love hearing that reflected back because that is my biggest hope is that it does feel doable and easy. And I mean, it's not going to be like you pick it up the next day, but it is something
Sure.
that you can learn and figure out and understand how all the pieces fit together. And then you're looking for those opportunities.
Yeah. And even the way, like, you go about, okay, on a monthly basis, like, these are the metrics we're looking for. Did it go up? Did it go down? You don't freak out if it went down. Things happen. Like, people, you preempt people with, like, stop.
If you're saying this, take a deep breath.
And then, like, okay, what are like 1 to 3 things in the next month? And even just having the structure, like the limitation of the structure of, like, okay, I'm going to look at these specific things. They're going to tell me these specific opportunities I have. And then these are the opportunities I'm going to take action on is so much more doable, is so much easier than just like what I feel like just SEO feels like is like, let's do SEO. And it's like, oh, that's a full-time job for many people. Like, I don't have time to do all that all the time. What's the one thing I need to take action on?
Yeah, totally. Ugh, I love hearing that. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being in SEO Grow. You were absolutely just a joy to work with in there. It was so much fun.
Thank you so much. And for being like the kind of coach who's like, being able to be like, hey, I don't get why you're doing this. I don't get how you're doing this. Like, show me. And then you're like, done. Okay, let's go. Let's walk through this. And then I just walk away like, oh, okay, I can do this. Great.
Yeah, and then you would turn in homework like the next day or something. You're like, I did the thing. I saw you do it. Yeah,
because it's easy.
that is so great. I need to do more of these case study episodes. They're so fun to do. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll make sure to link to stuff. Talked about the book being re-released. Do you have anything else that's new and happening in your world?
Yeah, I'll give you the link to the book. We can link to my podcast. You can see some of the case studies on my own website. You'll see Brittany's format coming through loud and clear. And it's so good. It just makes things so much easier. I feel like Brittany just gives you the playground, She gives you the sandbox. Like, just play here. It's like, okay, I feel safe now.
I love that visual so much. Here's your pail. Here's your shovel. Stay here.
Yeah, just be in the sandbox. You don't got to worry about what's going on outside of it. Just hang out here.
Yeah.
Have a good time. And everything will be all right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. We're just going to turn this into a love fest at this point. If you're listening and you're like, okay, let me give this SEO thing a try. You actually have a couple options right now because by the time this is coming out, you'll be able to sign up for the 5-day June SEO Sprint. Because yes, I have turned this into a 5-day situation that you can get your whole website. Well, I say 7 to 10 pages. You could get your whole website. You'll get your SEO strategy plugged in for those core website pages, those real meaty ones like Heidi was talking about. You'll get them. The bat signal will be built out. It will be plugged in. So you can do that, the sprint, if you're looking for something that's just like quick to the point, get it in, be done with it. If you are interested in the 4-month SEO and Grow group coaching program, that is now evergreen. So you don't have to wait for a certain date. If you're hearing this, you're excited about it, you can go sign up. If you have any questions, come find me. I joke that I live in my Instagram DMs, but it's not a joke. If you have a question, come find me. There's also the text link below, but smoke signal, anything. Just ask a question. I'll be over here and I'll make sure I have all of Heidi's links below and I will catch you next time. You've heard me talk about it, but how exactly does social proof support SEO? Well, your clients are kind of freaking brilliant because when they share what it's like to work with you or what they were able to achieve or accomplish with your help, they use words that other people are searching for. For real, they'll say things like, I walk away with practical tips to apply SEO to my own business, or all online business owners need to know about your SEO course, or Brittany helps me understand SEO in a real and tangible way. You know what's coming next, right? I need your help to get the Basic Bee podcast reaching more of the right ear holes. When you follow, rate, review, and share the show, that helps me help more entrepreneurs discover and lean into the magic of SEO. As a little extra incentive to write a review, once a month, I'll be selecting one podcast reviewer to receive a free mini SEO audit. You'll help me get discovered, and I'll do the same for you. Check the description for more info.